Saturday the 28th of October 1933, Dr. Richard Spencer speaking. Our brave patron, Mr. Alexander Worthy, has fallen ill. He's been experiencing dizzy spells and vomiting since late last night, and diarrhea since this morning. Dr. Cartwright is of the opinion that he may have consumed some spoiled food. However, he appears to be in no immediate danger. So this seems more like a fortunate turn of events that will keep him out of my hair for the time being. Oh, I have nothing against the man. He has certainly been plenty generous in his financing of this expedition, and he shows a lot of enthusiasm for the project. Unfortunately, his enthusiasm leads him to speak on topics of which he knows little. A delightful fellow to share a drink with, but not so delightful to work with. Still, I'll have to make sure to have the rest of the food stores checked, just in case. The weather seems to be taking a turn for the worst. We're expecting rain by sundown. Fortunately, we were prepared for such an eventuality, so it shouldn't affect our work too much. On the subject of our work, we did more exploration of the temple today. We did push a little further in, but most of our time was spent poring over the entrance chamber. Several artifacts were found, but nothing too sensational yet. Several pieces of pottery and what may be the remains of small figures. Significant in their own right, but they don't tell us much without greater context. There were some engravings on the walls, faded by the passage of years, crude depictions of humanoid figures, possibly religious in nature. One such engraving seemed to depict one man standing and driving a spear into another figure lying at his feet, possibly a depiction of human sacrifice, or perhaps the result of a duel of some kind. It is impossible to know for sure at this juncture. This is Dr. Richard Spencer. In the half hour since my last recording, a significant discovery has been made. Dr. Devereux discovered a small antechamber leading from what we might call the main chamber. Inside there he discovered a mask, and it is a most curious item. It looks like it has lain undisturbed for centuries, even millennia, but also looks freshly made. The crimson paint on its surface is still vibrant, and the wood is still smooth to the touch. Remarkable craftsmanship, I must say. I do wish I'd brought along my books by that Japanese folklorist, Dr. Asao. I seem to remember he had written something on how masks were used in various religious ceremonies all over the world. Miss Violet has also begun to sketch our finds. At the moment, she is concentrating on the interior of the temple. Primarily, she has taken to sketching down the murals and pictures carved on the walls, in the hopes of perhaps deciphering whatever story they are trying to convey. I wish her well in this endeavour. It would certainly be interesting to know what kind of culture this small island once played home to, how its people lived, and what kind of gods this temple was devoted to. On another note, some of the other workers discovered something interesting on the exterior of the building. A sword. Clearly medieval in design, so not of an age with the structure. Possibly from a failed attempt to settle this island. Perhaps some Norman lord thought it would be a good spot for a castle, only to give up the ghost when he found the land wasn't arable enough. Still, even if it clearly isn't related to the actual building, it might be of some value. The buried temple is our top priority, of course, but we shouldn't ignore everything else we happen across. This island clearly has a more storied history than we originally thought, and we should endeavour to uncover whatever secret it may be hiding, no matter how minor they may be. In the morning, I shall resume the exploration of the interior, starting with the antechamber Dr. Devereux found. Then I shall see about maybe moving down to the next floor. I shall organise a small party to explore the grounds around the temple too, to see if any other finds might be made. I should have done so already, but to my shame I allowed my eagerness and impatience to get the best of me. I must work harder from this point out. Only a little over a day in, and this is already promising to be a very eventful dig. This is Dr. Richard Spencer. Mr. Worthy has fallen severely ill and is currently bedridden. According to Dr. Cartwright, his current symptoms do not match with his earlier symptoms brought on by his supposed food poisoning. As such, either he has managed to contract two illnesses in very short order, or he is ill with something with which Dr. Cartwright is unfamiliar. Neither is a particularly heartening prospect. His symptoms include a high fever and delusions. He keeps talking as though to people who aren't there, or reacting to events only he can see. At times he appears on the verge of panic, before calming down again. I would send him back to the mainland, but unfortunately, with the way the weather has turned, attempting such a crossing would be dangerous. For the moment, the best we can manage is to have Dr. Cartwright keep an eye on him. It is good.